Well, hey there. Welcome, ToyShopFab. Today, we're working on the second of my 59 GMC pickup trucks because, well, it doesn't run. There is no engine. And truthfully, my yard is starting to look like a junkyard. And I'd like these things to be able to move under their own power, even if it's just for 10 feet. Really don't feel like pushing anything. All right, well, this is GMC pickup truck number 2 that I have named Corncob. Because we picked it up in the middle of Iowa and there was nothing. I mean, nothing around more than just cornfields everywhere. So I figured, and it's got this neat little yellow thing going on. Some green, like it's starting to dry. Anyways, I picked Corncob for this thing's name. And this is going to be kind of like our family little race truck. Seth and Delilah have both mentioned the fact that they would like to get behind the wheel of something. So figured, why not? Let's make this thing fun, right? We're going to yank the powertrain out of that 03 right there because that's what I want. We'll get it put in the place. I've already ordered our cross member for the engine. It's a universal kit, universal engine cross member and universal transmission cross member. But before I go and install any of that stuff, what I want to do is just tear the front end of this truck off. I want to get the hood off. I want to get the fenders off, radiator support, grill, everything, get it all down to the frame. Remove the wiring we are not using, and then get ready to just blast this thing with some simple green, purple power, acetone, brake cleaner, anything and everything I can to get this frame scraped clean so we can get it painted. I want to get that cross member cut out because I am not going to be needing that in this truck anymore. As a matter of fact, that thing right there will probably help me fix the issue I have in my red 59 where the transmission's up a little high because that one there doesn't have all that added stuff, which might allow that to sit down where it's supposed to, giving me the correct angle on that engine and transmission. So definitely going to hold on to that piece right there. I'll use it in my other truck, but it needs to come out as well. Get everything in here cleaned up so we can get those universal cross members in, get those figured out where I need to get them. Clean this firewall, because even though I want this truck to we're going to keep the outside of the truck looking like that because really that is cool. I might get rid of that blue because I want the yellow and the brown and the greens underneath that to kind of keep it uniform. So I'm probably going to use some Scotch-Brite and some stuff cleaner to get rid of that because that's just blue spray paint. But I want to keep the outside of the truck looking like that, and I want everything underneath the engine compartment to be clean and painted and nice. So when you pop the hood of this thing, you're really gonna go, wow, never would have thought. You know what I mean? So get you guys in the stand. From the looks of it, you could pretty much blast this whole truck apart using nothing but a 5/8, a 9/16, and a 1/2 inch. So far as what I see on this thing. So get you guys in the stand. We're going to get ourselves kicked into a time lapse and just blow the front end of this truck off so we can start cleaning and getting it ready for its new power plant. All right, we are just over 8 minutes into the teardown of this thing, and yep, 9/16, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch wrench, and a 9/16 end wrench, short extension. So 8 minutes in, that's what we got. I mean, it also doesn't, hurt or help, or it helps, I should say, that some of the bolts are missing. So I have to find some new ones for that. Some of them are rotten. Some of them are going to be a little difficult to get into. So, but anyways, all the ones on the top. Wonder how that sounds, but a little rough. But for the most part, they're not too bad. So you can see here, here's on the side that has all the hardware. It's painted yellow-ish. It's coming right out. It isn't really golding or scarring any of the hardware, so fingers crossed the rest of it goes this way. I think this is going to be a really neat truck. Well, going to have a lot of fun. My kids are. So, but enough chit-chatting. Get back to tearing this thing apart. All right, now that we got the front end all blown apart on this truck, got it set off to the side, so now we can easily access everything. We're gonna go ahead and start doing a little bit of cleanup. Got Seth out here. He's gonna get his hands dirty. Like I said, this is gonna be like our family type or our learner truck, our just good, fun, all-around pickup truck. And what I wanna do is, of course, get all this stuff cleaned up. Also gonna get the firewall cleaned up as best as possible. Try to get all that dirt and stuff off there. Straighten up some of this stuff. Get some seam seal or something in there. Straighten a little bit of this out. But I want to get all that cleaned up and get it like cleared or whatever to keep that color. I figured it'll help with the kind of like keep to the character of the truck. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Now I have already received, let's see here, couple of our parts just in this box. I've got a universal transmission mount and a universal engine mount with these little pads here. I'll put a link to this stuff in the description. Believe it or not, this kit came with both the cross members, the pads, and the mounts. Now I haven't quite gotten into it completely, but truthfully, it was $65. So if I don't like the mounts, I can get online, get another set of solid mounts or something like that. But to get me going, get it rolling, not a bad deal. But what I need to do is I got Seth. He's going to use a cutoff wheel. We're going to get in here, cut some of these rivets out. On the outside, as you can see, I already got one knocked off, kind of the demonstration to show him what we're doing. We're going to get a couple of these knocked off as well because I need to get that cross member out of my way to give me more room for the 4L80 and 60 that are coming out of that truck to go in here. So we're going to make it as easily accessible as possible. Open it up, give me plenty of room to work on it if I need to at a track or something like that. Also going to get the factory, I don't know if I'll get to it on this video, but since we are using that transmission, and I've got another like updated brake assembly, another master and all that stuff that puts the brake master cylinder and booster up on the firewall. So we're gonna get that out from underneath the truck, get that up here, kind of give it a little bit more of a modern feel. Plus it's a little easier to check fluids and work on if need to be. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get Seth in his glasses. Gotta protect them peepers. Got him the cutoff wheel, some thick gloves. Don't want him messing up his little fingers. But first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the camera real quick. That way he can kind of watch me. We'll go over on video, you guys can see too. I know I've explained it before when we cut the cross member out of that truck right there to move it forward, but now we're outside. It's a little easier to see, so go ahead and give him the camera real quick. We're gonna go over it real fast. He's gonna watch me while you're watching. So, here you go. All right. Go ahead and get this guy out of the way. So here's the plan. Get that out of the way. Got our little cutoff wheel. I'll show you. All right. So You want to start up in here so you can see how these are. So this is the factory. These are just the little rivets that hold all that stuff in there. What I want to do so you see I went crisscross, I went up and then sides. Put as many cross cuts in as you can. Go as deep as you can. Try not to cut into the frame so much. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use this air hammer right here. But give me a second. We are going to show you how to do it if you do not have an air hammer. And you can pick these things up at your local auto parts stores, just like a little pry bar. But get the ones that have the little metal on top. They're meant so you can smack it with a hammer. So if you don't have an air hammer, or you don't want to make a whole lot of noise because you're out in the garage at 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to wake the family up, you can use a hammer. See, because we did cuts there, what it's doing, you give it a place for the metal to go. Now if you try to do this without cutting it, you're going to be there forever. But you can see we didn't make a whole lot of noise. We just used a cutoff wheel, and because we were able to put 3 cuts in it, we could use this guy here. You can see that's not even sharp, that's dull. And didn't have to put in a whole lot of effort or anything, and was able to knock that off. Now if you had a center punch, you could probably, ball peen hammer, you can get in there too. As you can see, that is already moving. It's already starting to poke its way out. You can use the corner of this if you don't have a punch. Just get it right on that edge. And with enough wax, I'm kind of having a hard time with it right now, but you can't tell, but it is starting to push through. So with all that, use your cutoff wheel, use a chisel, use a punch, or if you don't mind making a lot of noise, you can use a really big, powerful air hammer. So go ahead now, get these tools in this little guy's hands here. Get them down there, get them start cutting off all those rivets so we can knock that cross member out, and then get started on getting this thing sprayed, scraped, and hosed down, get it cleaned up so we can start fitting, and well, just basically see where we need to go from there. So here we go. Yeah. Good job. Dang. What are you doing there, bud?
Cleaning the rust.
Right on. How's it coming?
Yeah, pretty good.
Getting all the big chunks off, all the big dirt chunks and stuff, grease spots.
Yep.
Nice. Nice. All right, well, you saw he got the cross member. The little guy cut all the rivets out, beat that cross member out from under the truck. So now we've got plenty of room under there to fit whatever. Well, pretty much we can fit a Seth in there and probably something bigger. But we got plenty of room. He's got a couple little wire wheels on the end of the cordless drill there, knocking off some grease and some rust, getting it all cleaned up so we can kind of do some spot painting or spot primering and then hit it with some semi-gloss black, clean up the top of this frame. While he's been doing that, I've got this little scrub brush here, little tub there with some soap and water and some double zero steel wool, because here's what we're doing. I got a little side-by-side comparison for you. Oh, there's the side, all the dirt and grime and stuff from years and years and years of being driven and used. And then down the middle, well, somewhat kind of down the middle, I've just been washing it off with the 00 Scotch-Brite and some soap, knocking off all of the dirt and grime I can. I'm gonna go over it one more time with like just a quick wipe down to get rid of all the rest of the stuff on there. But my plan is to keep from this line right here, right above the steering shaft, maybe just a little bit lower. I want to try to keep the green in there. So we're washing all that dirt and stuff off. We're going to keep that original green. Everything down below that line into the tunnel and all that stuff, we're going to hit with some rubberized undercoating. Kind of give it a little bit of protection, make it look neat, make it look good. Almost like this right here. As you can see, yesterday while he was cutting the crossmember out, I was wire brushing and cleaning up here. This is what goes behind the fender. You'll never see it once the fender is on, but I wanted to clean it up, get a lot of the rust out of there, and then spray it with some undercoating, kind of protect it a little bit. Now there are some spots on this truck we will eventually have to get into, like cutting out little pieces, do some patch welding, stuff like that. But for right now, it's good enough for us to get out here, get dirty, just have some fun, kill some time, clean this thing up, make it look good, motivate us to get a new engine and transmission in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up on the little pod here on the stand, get some time lapse of some cleaning. You know, these things always look cool when they get a time lapse if you see it dirty and then all of a sudden it's clean again. So I always get a kick out of those. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set you guys up, give you a clean show, and after we've got all that done, we'll get it with some paint, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to shine the firewall up here and kind of go over some of the parts I've received for this truck already. So here we go. All right, firewall is cleaned up and rinsed off. Also got the frame all wire wheeled, cleaned up and rinsed off as well. Took the air blower to it, blew as much water as we could out from all the little cracks and everything, off the little nooks and crannies, blew off any dust or blew everything off. So, and just we've been letting it sit out here kind of in the sunlight. The sun's been coming and going now, but let it dry up the best we could. So now what I want to do, like I said, is I want to keep the firewall. I want to keep all the patina on the outside of the truck. I want to keep this color underneath the hood, this green right here. So we cleaned it up with the 00 steel wool and some of that green Scotch-Brite that you see on the ground there to get most of the dirt and the grease and grime and everything off. It's not 100% perfect. There's going to be a little bit of rust in the corners. There might be a little bit of dirt here and there, but it's all part of the story. And what I want to try to do to keep all of that part of this truck is I'm going to use just this Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel. And we're going to give it a little bit of a shine. All right, we're not going to go too crazy on it. You guys have seen me use this before. Some of you have on the white truck I built in there over regular spray paint, but we're going to use it over the original paint of this truck. Now I have tested it a couple spots too on the outside. You can see here versus the door, that green versus there is some green right here. So same green, this stuff just likes to bring it out. And we've been here scrubbing and wiping and playing, and it's pretty durable. So let's see if I can't get Seth over here, take control of the camera a little bit. You know, we're gonna do a little bit of a walk around, kind of a time lapse-ish type thing, so you guys can watch me spray. What I want to do is I want to get at least this whole top area up to this lip. I'll get a nice little coat on it, but from like somewhere in this line down here, maybe a couple inches down from this line, it's going to get some undercoating. But before I do that, we will spray this frame with some Duplicolor semi-gloss black number 1635. I like that stuff. It's extremely durable, holds up to carb cleaner, brake cleaner. It does pretty well with stuff like that. Just don't let it sit on there for too long, but if it gets on there and you wipe it off, it usually stands up to stuff like that. Gasoline as well. So, but anyways, hand you off to Seth. See if we can't get a neat little time lapse going here of the firewall frame and undercoating. So here we go. All right, front end of our truck is all painted up now. Let's show you guys what we got. So here is our firewall with our Rust-Oleum rattle can clear. You can see it's got pretty good little shine to it. It's like a semi-gloss. It's not real bright, but definitely has a little bit of a shine to it. And you can see it kind of shows off some of the character this firewall has. And then we get into our undercoating on where the fender covers here, and of course part of our firewall as well, and around, and just part of our transmission tunnel. And then we get into our semi-gloss black frame. I think it's going to look pretty good with the engine that we set into place. Now I'm very excited on the way all of this looks. Definitely going to stand out. It's going to be an eye catcher when the hood is popped. Especially going to look really cool when we get the rest of the truck all sanded up, or cleaned and sanded up, and then start going over it as well to preserve some of the history this truck has acquired. So, but now here's a couple of things I wanted to show you guys that I've already gotten for the truck. And one is, so this is our universal engine cross member. It's just sitting up in these little guys now. It does move back and forth, so you can center the engine up, and then you can pretty much place it anywhere you want. This rotates to help get the desired angle that you need. So it is really universal. This particular kit came with a transmission cross member as well. I haven't got up underneath the truck yet to see how that fits, but if it fits anything like this, then we're not going to have an issue. I'll definitely make sure to put a link to that in the description. Came with both universal cross members and both mounts. So we got motor mounts and transmission mount. If I remember correctly, it was right around $65. So that is very, very cool. Now, if for a lot of you that may or may not be familiar with these trucks as well, if you notice here on the firewall, there is no brake master cylinder. As a matter of fact, these trucks put their brake masters right there. So there's a hole in the floor and you can see that cap on top. You have to take that cap off to put brake fluid inside that master there. And you can see the arm comes up through the floor. It's got a pivot point right there where that grease fitting's at. And then the bottom there is where you can adjust your little brake rod to basically adjust the rod for your master. And that's how these brakes are set up on these trucks. But I came across this bracket that will help me do away with that. We are going to upgrade the brakes on this truck, and we're going to put a master up here. That way we don't have to go through the floor to fill it up. It's easier to check, and it will basically updates it. So, and it's using a bracket just like this guy right here. These two tabs here, I believe, attached to where our steering column would be, helps locate this guy on the firewall. Where there's another trim ring that goes to the outside, but you can use this, mark the holes, drill them out, place your trim ring, sandwich the firewall with this bracket and your trim ring, and then it'll allow you to mark, measure, and cut the hole out for your master. Let's see here. So if you were looking at it, there we go. That's where it would go through your firewall. There's the arm for your push rod for your master cylinder. Here's this big, massive, beefy brake arm. And I accidentally came across this while looking for parts on eBay to try to do this project as cheap as possible, but, you know, upgrade as well. And I found this bracket. Now, I'll put the link to this in the description as well. You guys can check it out. Might help some of you out as well. Upgrade your brakes, because then you can go with a bigger booster, or just basically it gives you more options on master cylinders as well. And who knows, maybe you're like me and you have this big old parts truck over here that's a Hydro Boost system. Just saying, could help you out in the long run. So, but I'm super excited how the way this thing looks, have all this cleaned up and painted, ready, well, hopefully ready to start adding some new stuff in, but gotta let it set up, and I've got to get cleaned up because I have reached that time where I've got to start getting ready to go back to work. So, but when I come back, we'll start moving some things around, tearing some things apart, getting into another little project as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Definitely appreciate a thumbs up. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. And again, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys. See ya.